Okay, you're trying to establish a new routine. Everything is different. Your environment's different. Your schedule's different. Everything's upside down. And you're trying to figure out how to get your work done, how to manage your time, how to do all the other stuff you have to do. And it's a process. And I think that's the first thing to be aware of is that you're not going to just figure something out and then you're going to do it. It's going to be an ongoing thing with constant adjustments. So, one key thing that I think is important is not just trying to set up a plan or to make goals, which are great, but I think actually that it can be even more important to have some way of keeping track of things, to figure out what's actually happening. So when people are trying to do new things, usually they think in these terms, which is fine, like I said, but often that's where the disconnect comes, where I'm just always thinking about plans and goals, but I'm not really paying very close attention to what is actually happening. So you can kind of think about it sort of like when let's say they are setting up a new quad at your college. You don't want to just put the paths down with the asphalt or whatever before you know where people are going to walk, because chances are what's going to happen is people are going to walk this way and they're going to walk this way, and they're not necessarily going to use the paths you set up. So what you want to do instead is you want to just have the grass there and let people walk, and the paths will reveal themselves gradually. Like, this is where people walk, and so that's where you want to lay the asphalt down, and then your paths actually match the movement of people. And so that's really kind of the same idea of trying to emphasize the tracking part, you know, not necessarily over the plans or the goals, um, but to if you have the tracking be the basis of what you're doing, very often that makes it a lot easier to be realistic and to actually have something that's workable, as opposed to just constantly setting plans, making goals, and not meeting them and getting frustrated. Um, so a couple of different things you can do. One is you can use something like this. Uh, so let me just, yeah. So we have these on the website. It's just a piece of paper, but it has the whole week, um, Monday through Sunday, 6 in the morning to 6 in the morning, so 24/7. And the idea would not be to try and track every last little thing that you do, but you want to track some of the basics, basically the things that you're trying to accomplish. So if you want to set up certain work times in the day, that's what you want to keep track of. If you want to make sure you're getting regular exercise, that's what you want to keep track of. I also usually think it's a pretty good idea to try and keep track of your sleep times, when you woke up, when you went to sleep. Um, so I have to bring my iPad back here. So give me a second. Um, so to show you that again, like, let's say this rectangle represents one of those weekly calendars, and you could do this in a planner, or you could do this on your computer. You could use your um, electronic calendar, with whatever you use, Google Calendars, iCal, and just track basic things. And like I said, some of the good ones, or main ones to keep track of, is your sleep times, your work times, meaning when you're getting stuff done for your classes, and then exercise. And there might be other things that you're trying to fit into the schedule. Maybe there's career search stuff you're trying to do, and you want to make sure to fit that in the schedule. So you can decide on, like, I want to do X, Y, and Z, wake up at a certain time, work at a certain time, or whatever. But what I'm saying here is that the key thing is actually to track what actually happens. Okay. So another way to sort of think of this is that you are two different people. So this is you, and this is also you. Okay. And there's the you who makes some kind of a plan or sets some kind of a goal. Okay. And then there's the you who actually lives in the world and does stuff. So the actual things that you do. All right. And so this is the plan versus the actual. And there is always, or almost always, but it's probably always, there's always a spread. Okay. There's always a difference between what we want to do and what we actually do. And this leads to frustration, especially when you're trying to set up something new. And this happens all the time with people trying to come up with new exercise regimens, new diets, new whatever, trying to declutter their homes. And so setting up a new schedule for your classes and for when you're getting work done is kind of a wholesale lifestyle change. And so there's going to be a lot of goal setting and things not happening the way you want, and potentially a lot of frustration. And so the key thing is to communicate. If you watched the time and space time management video, I drew this same diagram, but I was talking mostly about communicating with the people you live with, your family or your roommates, to try and come up with something that works for you. But in this case, I'm talking about communicating with yourself. And very often we actually communicate worse with ourselves than we do with other people. If you actually were to write down some of the things that you say to yourself when you're not doing what you plan to do, the kind of crazy things we say to, or harsh things we say to ourselves that we would never say to somebody else, especially somebody we cared about. I don't know, maybe we would, but we're usually a lot harsher on ourselves than we are on other people. And so self-communication is actually not such a simple thing. It seems weird, but it's actually quite difficult. And so the idea is, if I can communicate well with myself and realize that that plan that I set up is not quite right. No, I'm not going to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and work from 8:30 until 5:30. That just didn't happen. That was my goal, but it didn't happen. So I have to adjust it. And so maybe I'm going to wake up at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something more realistic. But then maybe I have to actually change my behavior also. So I can't watch Netflix from midnight until 4 in the morning and expect to wake up at 10 o'clock. So I have to maybe adjust something there. And so if I'm communicating myself just as if I were working with someone, with a team, if I were either managing that team or I was part of that team, I'd have to be working with my team members, not just yelling at people and them not doing it and then nothing happens. We have to figure out what's actually realistic. Where are the paths being developed on the quad so that we know where to lay the asphalt down. And so hopefully, if there is communication, these things will move closer together and be more in concert. But it's good, I think, to recognize that they're probably never going to be perfectly matched. It's just that they want to stay in relation to each other and not be totally different. Okay, so different things you can do. There was the paper calendar that you could print out and you could track things on there. You could use your iCal or Google Calendar. Like I said, you could use a planner, or you could keep some kind of a journal. And journaling, I think, is a fantastic thing. And by journaling, I don't mean necessarily writing a lot about your thoughts and feelings, although that would be great, especially in a transitional time, a difficult time. I think that journaling actually can be a very helpful thing and a really good way to reflect and to figure out what's going on in your mind and with your emotions. But just as a way of keeping track, to have a simple thing where you maybe keep track of your sleep times, you keep track of your work times, keep track of exercise, um, and also maybe keep track of um, what's working well and what you need to adjust. And it's a way of kind of having something like an assessment meeting with yourself, and to every day just say like, okay, these things are working well for me. I like my sleep schedule. I like that I'm getting exercise done, but I'm actually not getting much done for class. So what kind of adjustment am I going to try out tomorrow? And the little tweaks are usually the best way to go. Big wholesale things like I'm going to wake up at 6 and go for a run and work all day, that stuff usually doesn't work. It's the classic New Year's resolution type thing. And so trying to pay attention to reality first, um, to going back to this diagram, paying attention to this person, this version of you first, as opposed to paying attention to this person first, uh, and following this person's lead, I think is the best way of realistically moving forward and getting something, getting to a routine that's sustainable.